for Water District 7 Commissioner are Roger Swanson and Mike Budshot. Mike, we'd like you to go ahead and make your opening statement.
Thank you. Thank you for your attendance. My name is Mike Budshot. I'm a retired automotive technician. As far as qualifications go, I've had a lot of leadership experience. I've been involved with pharmacology, certified for 20 years in auto repair. I participate in the annual meetings that they have, or the monthly meetings for the Water District. I've got to know the various council people and asked a lot of questions. I've been able to oversee some of the repairs that have gone on and learn firsthand just the day-to-day operation that goes on in the Water District. And it's a very important for our future. Water is the number one commodity that we have to protect. And conservation is one way to do it. And that's it.
Thank you. We had originally budgeted about 45 minutes for two candidates back and forth, so we might not make you. That's right. Okay, here's your first question. In your view, what did Water District 7 do right during the recent moratorium, and what could it do to improve?
Oh, the recent moratorium, the Water District was proactive from the beginning. It was a very long process to do all the water plan and the work that goes behind it, all the research and what have you. And unfortunately, some people kind of jumped the gun as things were being resolved. They kind of made a big issue out of something that was actually being worked on very diligently. As far as what they did wrong, I guess the only difficulty is trying to get information out to people. Some communication travels amongst individuals, but they don't really go to the source to get the information. If they would just go to the source and attend the meetings, I think they would be a little more reserved, a little more careful in their assertions.
Thank you. Given that it's the 21st century and that the district must comply with open meeting laws and also submit to a state audit every 3 years, isn't it past time that it have a website for the minutes and audit results to be posted so it's more easily accessed?
Actually, that's been talked about in meetings, and is very important. Communication, I think, is key, just so people are all on board and they know what's going on, because we're all invested in it. It's not just individuals, it's everybody. I don't know quite what all the assignments are as far as the different councilmen, but I know someone has to take that mantle as far as actually getting information out there. And I know there's been talk about a website and not just Facebook, but an actual web page we can go to that would have all the rules, regulations, and minutes.
Thank you. Why do you want to be a water commissioner?
Well, how about for my kids? This is water is such a precious commodity. I don't think we take it for granted that water is just available. It's at the tap. You go tap and turn on. There it is. But there's a lot of restrictions. We're in a situation where we're building so fast and we're already over allocated. So how do you get water for all those individuals if you're already over allocated? And that's where I know the water banks, all that stuff. There's so much going on behind the scenes, and it's all online. You can research all this stuff. But conservation and metering is probably going to be the way of the future if we want our kids to have a sustainable water supply.
That sort of leads me into this next question. It says, the recent moratorium on water hookups was the result of a temporary permit issued by DOE in 1993 to allow an increase from a limit of 40 gallons a minute to 150 gallons a minute. If elected to the district, would you advocate returning to the lower rate to save water?
No, actually, you need a fairly substantial withdrawal rate if you're going to have multiple hookups or an increase in hookups. There is a limitation. It had been since for a long time there was a lot of cases that were being mitigated. And so the water district was limited as to what they could do as far as instrumenting the water plan and getting a permanent water status. And so the temporary 150 gallons, what they found was the water operator have been very instrumental, I think, in asking people to conserve to the point that they actually have not overused the water. And I think it needs to be increased, as far as if we're going to get at some day in the future, get the additional hookups for the properties that are there. I hope I answered it. So.
Thank you. How does a water commissioner assure fairness with regard to that rate?
It's regulated. There is no preference. There's no nobody gets water access more preferably over anybody else. It's first come, first served. I think one of the big questions they have as far as the is your when you're getting your building permit, you get water. You can have water, as long as it's within the 225 water hookups. But to get your water quality affidavit, you can apply for it, but it's only good for 1 year. And so if you don't build on it within that time, you lose it. So.
Great. If you're elected to the Water District Board, what do you want to see changed?
Just good communication. Just make sure that we get people in the community to actually attend the meetings, and so they can know what's going on. Have a web page so it's available to people, but just have people be invested in the water program, because that's the only way it's you can feel like you're getting a return on your investment. I think so.
Thank you. Do you think fire insurance rates will go down when the upgraded system is in place and the satellite fire department is finished?
Well, I'll tell you what, that is a big deal. I know I don't know anybody that doesn't want the satellite for the fire department. I know I want it. And one of the things that I think that's most important right now, we've looked at what not the restrictions, but the deficiencies in the systems are. It's an old system. It does need maintenance. It does need updating. And we really want to push to have a modern and efficient system so everybody gets clean water and sufficient water and enough to where we can actually provide what the water tankers need, for the fire department. But I think it would bring our fire insurance down, because as it is right now, we're at the high end of the scale, and we need to run down a couple points. So.
Thank you. Some of these questions are probably going to be familiar from the primary.
Okay.
Given increasing demands for a limited resource, what water conservation strategies would you like to see implemented by Water District 7?
How about meters? I'm looking at, we're a metered system, but how much you use a day? If people could be aware of how much they use a month, and then if they're over-allocating, overusing it, if they can get just a notice in the mail or what have you, something with their bill or one way or another, so that they can actually pull back a little bit. I do know that what they're talking about when we research water banks is you have a couple different levels, and one is you get maybe allocated 250 gallons a month indoor use, and the second B plan would be 275 indoor, 25 outdoor. So,
Thank you.
I'd like to see something like that implemented.
How would you balance customer water rates with infrastructure needs, especially in light of long-deferred improvements?
Well, one way is through grants. I know I've actually met some of you guys at the meetings, but I've attended a seminar, about applying for grants, what have you. We need to have ways of offsetting what income we bring in through dues or through the fees for delivery of water. But anyway, we can offset and to increase that with outside grants would be a plus. Also, occasionally there's a need, for sometimes a one-time fee, to bring additional income in, because we do have a very limited amount of money that comes in on a monthly basis.
Thank you. It's going to be your last question.
Okay.
Can you please describe to the audience Water District 7's service area? How many residents or lots did it serve, and possibly could serve, and how many full-time residents, if No?
I don't know the full-time residents, but it's increasing. If you've been to Sunlight Waters recently, you wouldn't believe how much building is going on there. I mean, we're talking a lot of building. There's probably at least 10 or 12 new home constructions going up as we speak. As far as metered permanent water connections, right now we have 225. With some of the properties, there are multiple lots, so they have one water meter per lot. But if it was to be at full capacity, I think we have about 69 hookups that would need to be filled if we were to get an increase to, I think, the 293.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You can make your closing statement if you would.
Great. Well, like I say, it's been a privilege to be here. I've enjoyed this process. I hope people will vote on what I can bring to the table, not be a popularity contest. I feel I've showed a real dedication as far as how important this is to me and what I have to offer. I'm a very reliable, very honest person. I have an elected official in my family who is very well thought of in my, she shows great integrity, and she's a county clerk, and I have a lot of respect for her. She's been a good example to me. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Please join me in thanking the candidates for coming.